Welcome back, Craig here with How to Make Words Your Superpower. We're talking again about how to talk about yourself without feeling like you're bragging. Now, this comes up often in interviews where you have to talk about yourself, and of course, it comes up in your personal life as well. But in the first installment, this is the second installment, in the first part, we talked about how to tell your story and be excited about something. Here, we're gonna talk a little bit more about how to show that you have subject matter expertise, how you're knowledgeable about the industry or the area that you're talking about. All right, let's get right into it. The way to show that you have subject matter expertise is to show that you have an opinion on a news article or something that's happened recently in your industry. One way to do this is to take something that happened recently in the news that you know a lot about, or a trend that you have seen in your industry but you know about, and then form an opinion on it or give your opinion on it. Don't take a really hard stance. It's not important that you have like a controversial opinion. What's important instead is that you have an opinion and that it's informed and that you can back it up, because it allows you to kind of go conversationally into a topic without speaking directly to your skill set, but you are showing that you know a lot about it, because in order to have an opinion, you have to be informed. I would try to stay away from topics like politics that are kind of divisive and that everybody has an opinion on. What you want to go towards is something that is relevant to you and your industry and hopefully the job, and that you can speak intelligently about. This is also a good time to bring in code language that is from the industry. All industries, all little groups and inner circles have their own lingo, their own language. So if you are part of that industry, this is where that language comes in, and you'll make the interviewer or you make your counterpart feel like you're in the same circle and that you have that bonding. As an example, let's say that I'm interviewing at a company that makes games for your phone, like mobile games, and I want to show that I know how these games make money and how they monetize themselves. I could pick a couple games in the App Store and say like, oh, have you seen this game? It's really interesting. I was playing it yesterday and I noticed that they're doing this, this, and this. It's important to focus on the positive here. It's really easy to take something and tear it down. Instead, build it up. Talk about the exciting possibilities and the things that you see opportunity in. It's always more welcome to talk about things that are positive than to be really negative, but it's a small example of taking something very simple, picking a situation, and then having an opinion on it. Let me give you another example that happened to me just recently. So in my other job, I have a company called The Run Experience, and we have an online YouTube channel, and we had won a YouTube award earlier this year. And so my partner Nate and I were in New York, and we were meeting with these, NBC executives for this kind of meet and greet thing. And I didn't really understand why we were there, but I had an opportunity to kind of talk to some of these executives that were very high up at NBC, and I wanted to kind of make an impression. So instead of talking about what Nate and I were doing at The Run Experience, I talked to them about an idea I had for what I thought the channels were doing right and what they were doing wrong in terms of putting their content on YouTube. And the idea was all about how really, really successful content on YouTube tends to be really, really personality driven, whereas content on, most of network television tends to be either story driven or personality driven. And a lot of times they're a mix of the two. So in order to kind of really take that content from television and move on to YouTube, you have to kind of focus much, much, much more on the personality based content. So I won't go into the whole type of thing I was thinking about, but it was a back and forth conversation, and I was really excited about this idea for them. And it wasn't me pitching myself, but as a consequence, I appeared to understand a lot about this medium of YouTube and like how it affected the networks. And because of that, at the end of the evening, I got business cards from all the executives saying, oh, we should keep talking, we should talk more about like what you guys are doing, and I'd love to hear it, etc., etc. And it was just basically a way to differentiate myself in the crowd, and it was getting to the next step, which is, okay, I'm not sure what I want to do with these NBC executives if I was to have a conversation with them afterwards, but it opens that door. So what ended up happening was that even though I didn't talk about myself and my company at all, I ended up getting business cards from a bunch of the executives, and they were saying, we'd love to talk to you later about, what you think is going on YouTube, let's connect. And, whether or not I had a plan I didn't really have a plan for what I wanted out of that, but it did serve the goal of, differentiating myself in a crowd, and all because I was forming an opinion and giving them an idea and being excited about it as opposed to talking about myself. So the last part is like, where do you put this in? And I think these types of opinions, you have a couple of them in your mind, or, you're talking about them with friends and you've used them before. They're great fodder for small talk. And I think that it's a nice, easy way, if you are in a formal situation where you're interviewing, it's a nice, easy way to have, kind of a bonding moment and a conversation with your interviewer, as opposed to having something much more formal where they're questioning you and you're answering the question. It's also possible to kind of plant these stories ahead of time. I used to leave things on my resume about me studying abroad in Australia or about doing an Ironman triathlon, because people would look at the resume and they'd glance through the work stuff, and the first thing they would talk about is something that would be a conversational point. And I had put those in on purpose because I could talk about that easily and let us have that conversation. So you can similarly do this, by having a sticker on the notepad that you're carrying or on the book bag that you're carrying. Whatever it is, you can kind of plant little things there that kind of just allow as like a front porch for conversation. It's just a platform for you to open up a conversation on a certain topic. The common element with both these tips is to be like amused and excited and positive. It's really, really important. You can take this stuff and drive it into the ground if you go the other direction. But if you stay excited and enthusiastic about what you're talking about, it always comes across much, much better, and it's just much easier to listen to from the listener side. If you like this video, let me know and hit the like button, and hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what other topics you'd like me to cover, because I'm coming at you with videos every single week. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys in the next video.